This is going to be a short video. I am the prophet, Sholiach, Moshe Yoseph Koniuchowsky. I send you this video by the orders and commands of the Ruach HaKadosh as he spoke to me this morning. I want to address this message to my friends, my co-laborers, my ministers, my students, family, kingdom citizens, but almost more importantly to my enemies. I've had triple bypass surgery. This is my second day back at home in the ministry headquarters. First time I've gotten out of the house and gotten some fresh air. I thank Almighty Yahusha, who is Yahuwah come in the flesh. Because He alone determines my days. He alone determines the days that He has apportioned to me. And through successful recovery, as we stand on the Word together, according to Psalm 107, He sends His Word and heals us from all our diseases and destructions. And when He stops healing us, we go to be with Him. Very simple. Doesn't mean He doesn't heal. It just means He stops healing us. And the problem with man is not only a heart benighted with sin, it's men's hearts, even men and women who have good physical hearts, young, I'm in my 20s, I'm in my 30s, I'll always be this way. If your heart has waxed cold, and you, as opposed to the circumcised in heart, have been praying for the death, it has come to my attention through my compatriots and the Ruach HaKadosh that when word got out that I was hanging between life and death with a triple bypass, 90% blocked arteries, some of my former students who were offended by little things like coffee on the sofa and me rebuking them and straightening them out and telling them that if they were sleeping around, they wouldn't enter the kingdom. They weren't faithful when they came to me to be ordained, and I didn't give them the paper. So they went and started moving sheep around and taking sheep, and they haven't stopped trash talking behind my back. I know everyone. And let me tell you something. There are no surprises. Did you hear me? There are no surprises. With this crisis, with this health crisis, today's my first time outdoors. I bless Abba Yahuwah and his son Yahusha. They're both named Yahuwah. We call him Yahusha because we see him from this side. But when we see him from the other side, of course, he's Yahuwah. I praise Yahuwah not only for the thousands of my students and my leaders who stood in the gap and are continuing to stand in the gap for the next 6 months for a full and complete recovery. I thank Yahuwah that this crisis confirmed who my enemies were. That they plot secretly, they pray secretly for my demise. You're right. I had a heart issue, but it was physical. That's not going to keep me in the kingdom of Yahuwah, keep me from the kingdom of Yahuwah. But when you have a heart that has waxed cold, when you have a heart that would pray for an apostle, a prophet of the Most High, I'm not the prophet. Yah forbid. I am a prophet of the Most High. And I tell things, and I call things, and I declare things that no one can know but by the Spirit. And if you knew who was sent by the heavens and who was not, you wouldn't dare exercise the heart of wax and turn it toward this prophet. I am a prophet. I'm tired of apologizing for it. I've apologized for it for 41 years because most of you can't handle that. You think that if I'm not John the Baptist or Yahusha, I'm a false prophet. Think it. And it is your waxed heart. My physical heart was sick. I praise Yahuwah for what he's doing. But you will deal with your waxed heart. And if you don't get that fixed, Can you imagine that? A man who has helped thousands, a man who has discipled thousands, a man who has established ministries all over the world, Africa, Australia, a man who has brought together families and healed families and their relationships. And you sit in secret because you were offended 15 years ago by someone in our ministry who didn't feel we made the coffee right, or didn't feel like we were loving enough, and that we needed our privacy. So if we need a little privacy, that makes us bad, non-sociable people. And now this crisis has confirmed to me. It's come to my attention, but it's confirmed to me what I already knew. So I know every single one of you bastards. Make sure everybody gets this video. I can call you by name, disgruntled former students. And as a prophet, I'm going to tell you what you already know. You're not going to get away with it. I thank Yahuwah for the relationships that were strained. And through this 2 heart attacks and now a triple bypass surgery, I thank Yahuwah for the reconnections to dear sons in the faith, in particular Tovia Lopez and people like Chad and other folks and the Nunezes who've prayed, and Ray, pardon me, Amatia, who prayed, fasted, called a fast the day I was to be taken into surgery. So through this crisis, nothing surprised me. Those who are solid in Yahusha, who I planted. That was my assignment. Yahusha waters the seed, but I planted and I discipled and I brought forth. Like Paul said, he says, you have many teachers on Facebook. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. But I have begotten you through the Besorah. Though you have many teachers, though you have many instructors, I have begotten you through. You only have one Father. And if you know anything about the kingdom, we all have the same heavenly Father, but we are also assigned by that same heavenly Father. We're also assigned an earthly father, a earthly spiritual father, to look after our earthly needs, spiritual needs, our earthly spiritual needs. So this is the first day that I've come out of the house post-surgery. And the 3 categories, none of these categories of you guys surprise me. Category number 1, those who are faithful soldiers, because they know who I am. Like I said to you 40 years ago, and I've been saying every week since, I never promised you a perfect leader. I promised you a righteous leader. What does that mean? When I am wrong, I admit I am wrong. When I have committed sin, I admit I commit sin. When there are relationships that need to be fixed, I'm willing to fix them. And they appreciate that about me. And through this crisis and the ongoing recovery of 6 months, this is not a joke. They cut you open, your chest, your sternum, your legs, to add another 15 to 18 years to your life. And in Sirach 34, it says that these are ministers of Yahuwah, just like the prophet, the apostle. They're equal ministers of Yahuwah. One is no less important than the other. So the guy who's a doctor or a PA, like my friend Tovia, who's helped me every single day, they put me on hold for 4 months and 59 and a half callbacks to get answers that I'm getting instantly, because when he was 14, 15 years old, maybe even younger, he walked into my synagogue in Miami and I became his spiritual Abba. and the spiritual Abba of his mom, Dr. Hadassah. So this kingdom fruit has come back to help me in my time of need. And it's been not just a help, a great help. The Ruach told me to start going live. I came out here for the first time to get fresh air. Then there's a second group. They don't know nothing about nothing. They'll believe anything anybody tells them. Oh, Koniuchowsky is a false prophet. Okay, you're my friend, so you must be right. No, I heard Koniuchowsky's done some good things, but I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? So none of those people have surprised me either. Haven't heard from them. They haven't looked after me. They haven't inquired after me. They can care less. Okay, that didn't surprise me. And most importantly, to my enemies, you were praying that this would be the end because you got offended like some pussyfooting, lack of backbone, unqualified soldier to be a soldier of the King of Kings. You thought that by praying for my demise, that Yahuwah would hear your prayers. So let me make it clear to you. None of you surprise me. I know exactly who you are. All I got to do is look over my former students of the last 40 years, and I can pretty much figure out the people who hate me. Those are the people who don't want to reconcile with me. Those are the people who don't give a crap. And they may not have, some of them may not even prayed for my early death, but their waxy, grossy, hypocritical heart really desired that, to show that back in that argument 20 years ago, they were right and the so-called prophet was wrong. Trust me, friend, that didn't surprise me. Trust me, enemy, devil, your father is the devil. Even though you claim the King of Kings is. Now you're back in Judaism. Now you're back lighting candles. Now you're back on the gold road, the gold train, gold, G-O-D. You knew the name. You didn't treasure the name. You didn't thank Yahuwah for the prophet who brought you the name 40 years ago, did you? You despised the righteous and were hoping Yahuwah would kill his servant. You are one of them, and that does not surprise me. And you can say, no, I didn't want that. We disagree, but I didn't want that. Okay, but I still know who you are. Your silence tells me who you are. And I have reports from my elders. They know who you are. But you're nothing to me. And I'm going to declare to you again and again, you will not determine my days. The grace of Yahuwah, the healing of Yahuwah, or the withholding of earthly healing. That alone will determine my days. I know you understand me, but you don't want to understand me because you're more interested in carrying an offense and carrying a grudge than wanting to understand me. But it doesn't matter if you understand me, I understand you. So as I wind down, nothing, because I always watch for response, nothing surprises me. Those who are faithful still. Those who hated me, hate me still. Those who are fear of reconnecting, they wanted to apologize, they wanted to make things right. That was a spirit of torment. I'm not going to make the first move, so he's got to make the first move. That's a spirit of torment. And fear has no torment. So if you wanted to contact me and speak to me and apologize, or to not even apologize, but to Let's say, yes, I'm your former student, and you've done great things in my life. I'm not your current student, no problem. But I'm glad Yahweh brought you as a prophet to speak into my life. That's also fine. All these things are fine. But I know every category, and I know everyone where everyone would fit into that category. And again, I did not plan on doing this. Matter of fact, when I'm sitting there inside recovering, I've only been home for 2 days. I can barely talk. But as you can tell, the boldness in my voice is the master's affirmation that he told me to do this video. So I'm going to ask everybody to pass this around. No secrets in the kingdom. Everything done in darkness will be revealed. Getting back to the group that was hesitant to make shalom with me, the word says, that's right, the word says that all of you claim to uphold and follow, which is a joke. What is the solution to fear? I wanted to contact Sholiach, Rabbi Koniuchowsky, but I couldn't. I was afraid of his response. I was afraid of his lack of affirmation. I was afraid. That's a demonic spirit of fear. And what is the biblical solution for fear? Perfect love casts out fear. The fact that that group or a group could not do that, they wanted to contact me 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and even during a health crisis now, they're still afraid. Number one, it's a demonic spirit. I rebuke it. Whether you contact me or not, I still rebuke it, and I spit on you. I spit on that spirit. I don't care if you contact me. I really don't, because there were no surprises in this episode. But if anybody hears the still small voice, if anybody hears the master's still small voice, not in the whirlwind, not in the hurricane, not in the earthquake, here's a solution to your fear of being reconciled to a prophet of Yahuwah. Perfect love casts out fear. It's a lot easier to live in fear of being rejected. Yeah, someone may contact me, one of my former students that hates my guts that I haven't spoken to in 20 years, and I may reject them. But that doesn't relieve you of your obligation to cast out that demon that's holding you back from doing the right thing. And if I'm a prophet of Yahuwah, if you do the right thing, don't you think I'll do the right thing? Oh, that's really heavy, brother. That's really heavy. So whether I do the right thing or not, it does not relieve people for walking in the love they claim on social media. I love you, I love you, I love you. Bull crap. Why? Because true love is perfect. It comes from above. It's not earthly. It's not sensual. It's not fearful. True love takes chances. True love abides, regardless of this presupposed reaction of the other party in a strained relationship. Friends, remember this. Faith, hope, and love. These three abide. Every one of you will die. Did not the word of Yahuwah say you are Elohim? But like mere men, you will die, as I must. The only thing that's going to live is faith, hope, and love. You better make sure that while your time on earth is shorter and shorter, every day it gets shorter, that you get rid of the waxy heart and hang on to these three things alone. You're so darn worried about the Trinity. It's not biblical. These three things abide. Faith, hope, and perfect love.